In life is that people are the X factor. They constantly surprise us, both in amazing ways and not so much. We're Ben and Sia, and welcome to the Gnaw on This Business Bites podcast. This show is all about real life things we all deal with every day, how they relate to business, and how to make some sense out of our daily chaos. Welcome to the show. And welcome back to another episode of Gnaw on This Business Bites. I'm Ben and this is Sia. And this week we're going to talk about one of my favorite pet peeves, tab hoarding. You know, when you look on somebody's screen and they've got 10,000 tabs across their screen, and I just sit there and go, how do you live that way? How do you keep yourself organized? How do you remember which is which? But I've got to keep them all open. But you sit there and go, how inefficient are you in life? Maybe you are. Maybe this is the way that you love to live in life and you know exactly where everything is. It's like the people who've got this messy desk but know exactly where everything is. I'm just not like that. I've got folders for everything. I've got tabs and folders, and they sit there and go, okay, pull down menu. Okay, there's the directory I need. There's a URL I need. Boom, bring it up. Use it as I need it. As I'm doing it during the day, okay, I'm done with it. Bang, off it goes again. But there's people up there that've got 30, 40, 50 tabs up, and I just don't get it. So, Sia, I hear you laughing. I see you smiling. Let's gnaw on this.
Okay, first off, you had mentioned quite a couple things that, yes, I understand people that, and I've been talking to quite a few tab hoarders, which, by the way, you'd be surprised how many people are tab hoarders. I mean,
I wouldn't.
Even like the most technical people I know are tab hoarders, knowing fully well what having all those tabs on a browser does to your machine. I don't care if it's a Mac or a PC or a big ass, laptop, not laptop, what's that, a tower. It is amazing to me. So you touched on a couple things, one of which from a technology perspective, when I see tab hoarders, I cannot help but think, hey, your laptop running slow lately? Are you frustrated with your load times? Because odds are high if you're a tab hoarder, you already got it up somewhere, an older version, and it's going back and forth and trying to figure it out. It's not like it's cached it and then remembered the latest thing and it loads up faster. It does not. So yes, from a technical perspective, you're slowing your machine down for other applications that need it. Because if you're using Google especially or any other browser, they are CPU whores.
They're hogs.
They're hogs, man. Especially if they're constantly updating in the background too. I mean, woo. So, but the other thing too, though, I know you said it, like, how do you run your life? You mentioned, like, how do you organize your business, right? If you've got so many tabs open, how do you know what tab is accurate? You just made me think of the counter to it, because I feel like we should counter, even though, because I know we agree, which is
sure
Albert Einstein. If a
chaos theory.
Yep. If a messy desk is a sign of your mind, what's it mean about a clean, clear, organized desk? Is there anything going on there? So I can see where if you have that sort of mind personality, which I do have a lot of things going on in my brain, but that's one thing I'm almost obsessive about. I try to minimize the number of browser tabs that I have going. So I kind of went off on my own tangent there, but.
Yeah, I'll fully admit, I run two 24-inch monitors. There is usually 3 or 4 or 5 tabs open at a single time, but those are the tabs that I'm using all day, every day.
Makes sense.
And there's stuff that I need to be able to move back and forth and be able to move between them, and that makes sense. But as soon as I start recording a podcast, everything gets shut down. I mean, the first thing I do is I reboot my computer to be able to clear everything out of the cache, to get everything done. My CRM gets shut down, my Outlook gets shut down, my Excel gets shut down, my tabs get shut down, because I sit there and go, wait a second here. I don't want anything interfering with the recording. I don't want to all of a sudden be sitting there doing the jerk, or all of a sudden I go absolutely into panic mode, because all of a sudden I've just frozen because I've got 10,000 tabs open. And I'm sitting there going, how do people live their lives when they're just sitting there going, okay, I need to refresh, need to refresh, need to refresh. Yeah, because you've got 17 or 25 or 37 tabs open at the same time, all competing for the same RAM memory.
Resources.
And I don't care if you got 128 gigs of RAM. Your machine can't handle it.
Yeah. Well, I find it fascinating because I think it's a security blanket. It is literally hoarding. It
Absolutely.
is legit hoarding, and it is a psychological security blanket of, oh, I found this cool website. I need to hold it. I think that's more okay. Okay. I'm not going to want to insult my friends because I know right now there's going to be some tab hoarders going, I'm a tab hoarder. So question, everyone in the audience, just, for, giggles, just write how many tabs that you guys have currently open. I'm curious to see. Just fess up, guys. It's fess up moment.
Who's got the most? I want to know who's got the most tabs open at the same time. I've got one. Okay, I'm going to lose this bet.
Or maybe we do the opposite. Whoever has the least number of tabs open wins, and you and I have to be excluded because we're live streaming, right? So yes,
exactly.
But I think there's a couple things going on here. One, security blanket mentally. I just want to have my stuff there available when I need it. Okay, there's some psychological aspect to it. But then there's the second part where I feel like the reason why that psychological aspect happens is education. How comfortable are you really with the technology that we're using? Right? Yes, we use web browsers all day long, but do we really understand how to use it? Do we know that you could have this thing called favorites? Save your favorites. You put them into folders. Bookmarks. Yes. Like, do we leverage it, right? And I think that's something like your most common sites you go to. You don't always have to have that tab up. You just click it on and you make a bookmark and it goes right there on that top panel, regardless if it's a Mac or a PC or whatever. It's right up there for you. And again, doesn't matter what browser you use. They have all favorite bookmark tabs. So I think it's some education, you guys. So fess up on that. I mean, Ben, do you think it's education or security or both or something else?
I think it's both. I actually think it's both. I think in a lot of cases, a lot of people, it's a security blanket. People are sitting there going, I don't want to lose this thing. So therefore I know it's up there. I'm going to be okay. And then there's a lot of people that are sitting there going, they don't either know how to, or they don't want to set up a proper bookmark, file folder system to be able to sit there and have a logical thing that says, okay, favorite bookmarks, things to do with live streaming, things to do with, cats, things to do with, bananas, whatever, you pick your topics. But if you have tabs and sub tabs that allow you to sit there and say, okay, these are my favorite fruit videos, and be able to have those there, you'll find them when you need them. But it's a matter of having that logical method of saving things that works for you. What's going to work for me is not going to work for Sia, might not work for you, but you got to find a logical pattern that works for you. Something that sits there and goes, that makes sense, instead of having every single thing in one directory called bookmarks. And all of a sudden you got 5,000 bookmarks there, which is not going to work for you because you're never going to find anything in the first place. It's the same as having the 37 or 57 tabs across the screen. You're never going to be able to find them in an organized fashion.
Oh my God, you just made me laugh. I'm so sorry because I'm thinking of so many people here that I know are like, I just feel it. So anyway, okay. So let's talk about then. We know it exists. We know it's a problem. Some folks don't feel it's a problem. Some folks are like, dude, I don't know what you're kvetching about. That's of all the things that's going on in my life, this is like a minor thing. And so let's change perspective a little bit then. Okay, so let's say you and I are admitted tab hoarders. Okay. I gotta cling to what I know, right? What do you think we could do? Let's explore options of best practices then. Like, what can we do to get us away from it? So what would you suggest as a like number one thing to do to kind of like let it go?
I think let's take the Warren Buffett method of thought processes. Warren Buffett at the beginning every year says, okay, here's the 23 things that I need to worry about. And he takes the list and he cuts it in half, and he throws half the list in the drawer. And then he takes those 10 and cuts it in the drawer as well. So all of a sudden, 15 of the 20 things that were his top priorities are in the drawer, not thought about. So if we sit there and say, okay, what are the top things that I need to deal with every single day, and have those tabs open? consider that as your security blanket, and be able to file the rest of them and sit there and say, okay, when I'm done with numbers 1 through 5, I can go to 6 through 10. And when I'm done with 6 through 10, I can go to 15 through 20. And I think that if we do that and we create a method of sitting there going, okay, what are the 911 and what are the 199s? And if we take a look at it that way, we're going to sit there and say, these are the tabs that we should have open. These are the tabs that we're using each and every day. Great. But the rest of them, let's find a bookmarking system so we know that they're there when we need them, but they're there when we need them, not there all the time.
Nice. I like that idea. I like that. Okay, I like that. Is it 911 or 119? That's pretty damn good. Quotable. That's a quotable.
There we go.
I'm going to add that to my quotable list.
Pulled that out of my head.
Hey. Okay, I was going to say something else. Never mind. So
yeah, I know, but that there are kids that sometimes watch this show, so
Oh gosh. Oh, I was totally going to say something else on top of that, like even worse. Okay, so here's where I think is an option to do, and it's what I do actually, is I have a primary browser, and I have my bookmark set, and so I have literally like my primary bookmarks are on that row, but I always every morning have four. And it's my email, my calendar, my Drive, and LinkedIn, because I'm always on LinkedIn. So those are my 4 primary that I just, first thing in the morning, click, 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 click. Those are my 4 windows, always open. And then after that are my secondary email for another project and like other things that I use every day. But I don't open up in that browser. I only have those 4, and that's my primary. And then I open the secondary actual window, a browser.
Like window. A second window? Like a second.
Yep.
Yeah.
Second window altogether. So this is my primary, and I can minimize it, but I never close it out. The other one is like the secondary stuff that I have that I'm like, okay, maybe I'll look at, I'm in Canva all day long, for example, right? Or obviously my accounting and book system is actually usually my primary. So I'll add that to the 5th. But like the other stuff that I can close out at any time because this is my primary, right? And that's where I think for me, organizationally speaking, is then I know these are my must-haves. These are my 911s is that one window. The second window is close it on a dime on a fly if I'm going to do like a recording with clients, for example. So that's my suggestion. Exactly. I think that might help maybe. And then of course, I think once you get in that habit of, I think, separating, then maybe that anxiety to delete it goes away a little bit more because these are your primaries you've identified. That's my suggestion.
And I think that that's a great way of doing it. So I'd love to hear from people, what are the methods that work for you? What works for you? Because everybody is going to have something different, and there's going to be some phenomenal ideas in the chat of says, hey, listen, I've tried this and this works, or I've tried this and that didn't work for me. Right. But we need to sit there and go, okay, let's get the collective wisdom of this group and be able to pull it together. And I think what we should do is we should leave it there. Let everybody have their brilliance in the chat group, and we'll come back next week and we'll see. We'll see what people have come up with.
Just one thing that you just reminded me of, and I think that's a third reason we didn't think about passwords. So a lot of these websites require passwords. I wonder, you guys, you tell me in the audience, is that one of the reasons why you have that tab hoarding issues? Because you don't want to have to keep logging in, re-logging in, because there are ways.
Keeper.
I was going to say my
password keeper.
Yeah, password keeper, you guys. No, and it's a godsend too, you guys, because now you don't have to worry about all that. So this is no endorsement to password keeper.
Password, Norton password. Yep. There's so many other good ones out there, and it's just a matter of sitting there going, okay, you set it up and forget about it, and it's a beautiful thing. You have one password to get into your password keeper, and everything else is sitting there waiting for you.
Let me clarify. Should there be a brand that wants to endorse us for your said password keepage application, we're always open to it, aren't we?
We absolutely are. We can be rented. We can't be bought, but we can be rented.
Oh, you're too funny. You're so silly. So I feel very much more relieved to address the tab conversation, because I have so many clients that like their recording quality is such crap because they have all these things. And it's like, I don't want to like tell them, look, your machine is slow because you're killing it, and now your recording quality is crappier than crappers. Even for local recordings, people, It doesn't matter about the bandwidth issue. It's your machine that gives you crappy recordings. That's a problem. So that is my 2 cents. I'm so glad you've given me the opportunity to talk about this topic because it's so bad and so good at the same time.
Well, you know what? We'll have to start a support group for tab hoarders. So, hi, my name's Ben, and I am a tab hoarder.
No judgment zone. You're in a safe space.
No judgment. No judgment. Hey, listen, I'm Ben.
And I'm Sia.
We'll see you soon.
Hey. Thanks for listening to another episode of Gnaw on This, Business Bites. If you liked what you heard, we most humbly ask that you like, share, and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to communicate more effectively within your organization, contact Ben at yourbrandmarketing.com or me at brilliantbeammedia.com. We can help you build your community, brand awareness, and personality through digital content and podcasting. We cannot wait to hear from you. So see you next week for another episode of Gnaw on This, Business Bites.